Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third party review. First of all, I must apologise. I'm still sick with the man flu, but I'm trying to soldier on and make a crack at all of my outstanding videos in my to-do list. Today I'm taking a look at something from Planet X. Haven't had a Planet X product since Trypticon. Basically had to sell all of my Planet X stuff to help pay for my wheelchair. And through the partnership I have with Robot Kingdom, I've managed to secure the latest Seekers from Planet X. This is their QUERELLA, or QUERELLA? It's their interpretation. I think this is their SKYWARP. It could be one of the Rainmakers, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's their SKYWARP. I get lost, there's so many. I still have to get their Optimus Prime as well, because I've heard very good things about him. Taking a quick look around the box, pretty much what we've come to expect from Planet X. The boxes are just made to look like the torso of the bot inside, and inside he comes packaged with his instructions, card and weapons. And here we have him out of his plastic prison. I'd actually forgotten how big these guys were. I was letting my son, the youngest, play with the Fall of Cybertron Zakara Optimus Prime, and he's so small and diddly compared to this guy. I mean, he is a gorgeous tone of purple, not to everybody's taste, and a lot of people wanted it to be a more G1 style purple, but from what I can remember of the game, this isn't that bad. I think it's a pretty nice colour. It's a very sleek metallic sheen to it. Love that Energon mace as well. That's fan-dabby-dozy. What a cracking little weapon. We have his, they're not null rays, are they, his weapons there, but we have those mounted on the underside of his arms there, and we just have the ability to extend these wings. Love the attention to detail here with all the little circuitry segments. Their Megatron looks fantastic as well. I've seen him teased, as does their Ultra Magnus. Really looking forward to that. Face wise, that's not bad. I do have a paint blemish on my little bit of black there. I don't think that's going to be impossible to get rid of. I think maybe a little bit of white paint just over that would do it a complete treat. But yeah, it's a pretty nice face sculpt. I love the detailing on the cockpit of the chest there. It's just something about these Seekers that brings them into their own. I love the original design, when we got Hasbro and Takara issuing the first Fall of Cybertron Seekers, and Planet X have basically taken that design, made it closer, in my opinion, to the game model, and then given us all the colours of the rainbow. As previously mentioned, I don't have any Fall of Cybertron figures at the moment. I am starting to rebuild my collection. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm ever going to have Trypticon and Omega Supreme again. They're just out of my price range, but we shall see. So for now, my Seekers are standing alongside the likes of Spark Toys, Megatron, and the figures that Mass have currently released. See now, in my personal opinion, SKYWARP looks exceptionally good with that style of Megatron. That's a really good scale. I'm not sure how big the Planet X Megatron is going to be, but if he's about this size, then that's going to be insanely good. Now, if like me, this is your first time at having one of these Seekers in hand, let's just cover the articulation. The head can look up and down, we can go left and right, and we can tilt side to side. The shoulders are on a friction joint going around. They do kind of rub slightly against this backpack, but we can just tilt these backwards to get those out of the way. We can come up to the side. I love that the shoulder pads can move left and right, up and down as well, so they don't hinder the actual shoulders themselves. There's an upper bicep rotation. We get a really deep bend on that elbow. The wrists have some tilt up and down, and they can rotate left and right quite freely. The fingers are all pinned, which allows for the weapons to be held at the waist can rotate nice and freely, no real hindrance there whatsoever. The legs can come forward on a friction joint, back, out to the side. We get an upper thigh rotation there. We get a double jointed bend on that knee, and we get pivot on those feet, as well as individual motion on the toe. So there's no ratchets on this guy at all, but the friction joints are nice and stiff, so we can hold a very decent striking pose nonetheless, especially with those big old chunky feet as well. They act as fantastic anchors. For those of you wanting an exact size, he stands around 8 inches from the ground to the top of those struts behind his head, and weighs in at a welterweight 196 grams. That's 6.91 ounces. Now, for the purpose of the transformation, I've removed his weapons. You want to come around to the wings and just compress these pieces in. There's a 3-step process to placing his hands in the arms. You need to flick up, rotate over, and then close down. Putting onto the chest, we can detach the backpack by bringing it outwards, and we want to rotate it all the way around, and then pull up and split these pieces. Bring this piece down. Do the same for this side, and this time we want to bring this piece up, and that's going to bend into the middle, and then this side comes up, and that's going to just tab in on top, and this is going to help form the tail fin by just tabbing those two pieces together. Slide this joint down, push and collapse this, and then if you look on the underside, there's this tab just here. This is going to slide down, and then that's going to tab and secure into that grey latch, and then rotate the wings 180 degrees. Push the toes upwards, compress the legs into the feet, and then pop the shin piece downwards, unfolding and unfolding again, and in doing so this comes untabbed from the back. We can bring this section all the way up, covering off the knee pad. We can then push down and compress the leg in to that thigh section and tab those legs back off. Drop this whole back piece down, bring back this hinge, and that's going to rock, and that's going to slide into that joint, and these are just going to sit in this gap nice and snugly. This piece here can be rocked fully back, and these are going to sit either side of this small hole in here. As we bring this backpack section down, we're going to just lift the torso up, slide that into the gap. That now allows everything to line up nicely. We've got these 2 tabs on the underside of that tail fin. They're going to line up with the peg holes in those legs. Just going to push and tab those in. There's tabs just on the underside of this section as well, and there's slots just in the wing for these to tab in as well. Open up this piece here, we can lift the chest up, bring out the nose cone. I generally poke mine through from the underside and just bring that all the way up. That now allows us to clear the head. Come to the side pod sections, that's on a rotating hinge, so we need to bring this up, and this is going to come up out of the way. I think that's where they're meant to go. It's quite difficult to see clearly on the instructions, but we need to bring the arm up, bring the shoulder pad up, and the shoulder pad is going to rotate and come up to the top. Let's take out the landing gear, close this piece off. This is then going to roll over and tab in on there like so. Then push those hip pieces all the way up so they're just snuck up there in the middle, out of the way. Bend down your arm, straighten up this joint and rotate this upwards. This is going to rotate around and it's going to fill this void under here, and then this piece here is just going to tab and lock in on the base of that knee pad. And here we have him fully transformed up into his vehicle mode. I've just tabbed his weapons underneath those wings, but yes, that's pretty darn swish, if I do say so myself. Not sure if the cockpit is meant to open. I don't want to pry mine open in case I break it, but on the underside it's nice and tidy. I got his head visible. Not sure if maybe I should have turned that round at some point. Not entirely sure, and I don't think I've pushed this piece back probably, but you get the idea. It all tabs in rather nicely together. It looks absolutely stunning. The more I play around with this figure, the more I love this rich purple colour that they've used. Now, I don't have a SKYWARP to hand, but I do have a Starscream to give you an idea of how he scales alongside the Masterpiece figures. And here he is alongside Mass Toys Bumblebee. See, that's a scale that I think works. I've really missed the Planet X figures. I loved War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. I was never any good at it, but I loved the whole concept and kind of that war within vibe that it generated. So I'm really looking forward to getting back on that Planet X train. I've included a link in the description below where this toy can be purchased over at Robot Kingdom. Until next time, from myself and QUERELLA, or QUERELLA, thanks for watching. Goodbye.